Milner and Ruprecht tied on points after the first round. Who will be the first rider to break away in this series? Hello everyone, I am Denny Ham. Welcome to the Yamaha Australian Enduro Championships presented by MXstore. In the Highlands of Victoria at Rawson for rounds 3 and 4. Now we are facing some stark difference in the weather conditions right here. From the dusty, hot conditions at Kempsey to here, down in Victoria, absolutely freezing, 9 degrees and beautiful loamy conditions. We've had some overnight rain here, but don't let that fool you. It looks like it's perfectly loamy out there. However, I've been assured that there is some very hard surfaces out there and a lot of slipperiness as well. These riders are going to have to be patient all weekend long if they want to succeed. Now, we've set the scene. Why don't we get into the action?
The first 3-hour XC for 2025 as the first wave of riders launched out. Ruprecht, Reinders and Dennett struggled to get off the line. Will Ruprecht was near 15th rounding the first turn, but by the end of the opening lap he would be battling in the top 4 freight train with Milner, McMahon and Jai Dixon, who was showing some serious pace. Compounding issues, Will Dennett hit the ground early, as too did Andy Wilkes, and found themselves deep in the 30-strong wave of riders. This was a long race. Ruprecht, Milner, McMahon and Dixon strategizing, keeping each other in sight. This would remain the same, the KTM riders stalking the Yamaha rider through to the pit stop. Despite a valiant effort in the first half from Milner, it was all Ruprecht after they refueled that took control. Both riders dropped the hammer, matching each other's pace until a 4 from Milner would take him out of the hunt. Andrew Wilkes worked his way up to 5th place on his beater in the Pro Enduro before conceding 1 place late in the race. He would finish 3rd in E2. Daniel Milner would bring it home in 2nd. Will Ruprecht too strong, opening up a 38-second lead when the checkered flag waved.
Yeah, you know, it's been 6 years between drinks when we're talking about a cross-country format. It's funny, like I practice so many starts at home. It's something that I haven't practiced where I've been racing previously the last few years. And then I come to the race and the bike fired and I clicked the gear and flamed out. I guess it's just racing nerves, so I kind of made it hard for myself. Really made a hard push the first half a lap, and I was sitting P3 by halfway around the first lap, so that was quite crucial. When we were walking, it was a track that you just knew you couldn't pass on, especially if you're similar pace to someone. So Milner took a chicken line around one of the quarry sections, and I went up it and just funneled in again before him. 1 lap before the fuel stop, I knew I wanted track position because that's probably how the race was going to end. So I really dropped the hammer 1 lap before the fuel stop. Got it done. The boys done a real good job up here under the tent and took care of me. Got me out first, and then just put her in autopilot. Not that it was easy by any stretch of the imagination, but just definitely rode within my potential and brought her across the line from there. Whoever left the pit first won.
Oh yeah,
There wasn't enough difference to pass anyway.
Yeah.
Fraser Higlett led the way in E1 after the first lap, but a moment on lap 3 would see him fall down the overall order to 4th. Cooper Shido was on a mission, moving forward and taking advantage of Higlett's misfortune, moving into 3rd. These two would continue to battle throughout the race, Shido eventually locking down 3rd overall. Stefan Granquist swiftly positioned himself at the front of E1 until the fuel stop, where he dropped back to 2nd. His seasoned approach ensured the mistakes were minimalised, and he rode himself to 2nd, Triumph's first podium in Australian Enduro. But no one was going to catch Jonty Reinders on his KTM. Winner of the E1, 4th in Pro Enduro, and the fastest rider on track on the final lap.
Yeah, I made it hard for myself. I didn't get the best to start, and I was probably mid-20s, I think, and sort of sat around outside the top 10 for a couple of laps. I just couldn't get around the guy. It was just a freight train of guys, and the track was super hard to pass. And I ended up pushing up the 4th outright, which was pretty good, and I had really good speed towards the end. Pretty good day here, so looking forward to tomorrow. I got the speed, so just got to put it all together.
In E3, Riley McGilwray's consistency once again proved beneficial on the Husqvarna, placing himself inside the top 10 in Pro Enduro, third in E3 today. After some aggressive opening laps, Jai Dixon lost a little intensity at the tail end of the 3 hours, losing 1 place to the Flying Reinders in Pro Enduro for 5th, second in E3. After a hard-fought opening half of the race, a mistake and tweak of the leg would slow Corey McMahon to close out the day in 3rd in Pro Enduro, your comfortable winner in E3.
Oh yeah, today was really good. It's good to finally show my pace again. It's been a long recovery from the knee at the start of the year, but I finally feel like we're back where we need to be and battling them for that outright podium. Super stoked to run up front with the boys. Obviously that's the only way to learn how their pace is, and man, them 2 boys in front, they were on another level today. I got back to them after they dropped the hammer the first time, and I felt pretty comfortable at their pace, and then just before the fuel stop, the last lap before the fuel stop, they dropped it again, and I couldn't match them. I had a little crash that lap and struggled to regroup a little bit, but yeah, super stoked to win the class and put this 3rd outright, 2 KTMs on the box today, which is really good.
EJ lined up in wave number 3, 1 minute separating each of these waves. Kogan Locke returned to the form we saw at round number 1, dominating the class. At the completion of lap number 1, he was credited with 84th position on track. And incredibly, at the end of the completion of the race, he had moved himself all the way up to 20th, outright in Pro Enduro, the win in EJ.
Yeah, had a good race that one. Felt consistent. Couple little problems along the way, but nothing major. Just tried to stay upright, and obviously us EJ riders starting from the back made for a lot of traffic. So trying to weave through, pick people off. So it was interesting. The track was super rough. Bike was awesome. 450s are really cool. I love it personally. Like, it's sick. Yeah, had a really good race. I'm really happy with the win.
Our EJ podium passed more riders than anyone else on the track. Bjorn Cardanis passed 57 riders to finish 28th in Pro Enduro, second in EJ. Fletcher Tucker passing 72 riders to finish 29th in Pro Enduro, third in EJ. EW was treated to a separate race, 2 hours of grueling conditions that would test the very best racers. Each rider had their moments throughout the race, resulting in an exciting battle that saw a new leader and position swaps nearly every lap. Jay Chellis led them out with Gardner, Healy and Nilsson in tow. Maddie Simpson struggled with some mistakes early on and a lack of traction that kept her from finding her feet all day. Nilsson and Healy both took control, leading over the next 2 laps, with Gardner falling. But Jessica Gardner's determination would be too much and would ride to victory.
I went for a 2 hour with the girls, and we were on the front row, which was really nice. We got to lead the way out. A couple of hours of rain early this morning, so yeah, the track was quite challenging after the juniors had kind of just polished it up, and it was really hard to pass. So we were all stuck in a bit of a freight train the first lap, and I tried to go out of the main line to pass and went back to about 4th because I went all pear-shaped for a bit. But yeah, we ended up to work our way up to 1st, and right after I did that, I slammed myself down and twisted my bars pretty good. So I was thinking in my head, do I try and ride it out another lap and keep pulling back, or I just ended up coming into the pit. So I lost a little bit of time there. And yeah, the crew just said, just work your way back up, and that's what I did for the next few laps, and we did 4 laps in total. Yeah, all in all, a bit of a chaotic day, but a lot of fun, and yeah, very thankful to the whole Yamaha JGR off-road team and all our supporters for going racing and doing what we love.
Maddie Healy collecting 2nd and Ebony Nilsson crossing in 3rd.
Rawson will be remembered as a tough day at the office for many of these riders. The track conditions, the roughness, the slipperiness of it all, everything was thrown into this one particular event. And one guy that shone brighter than everyone else was Will Ruprecht, coming away with a win here today. And not just a win, but a very convincing win over the rest of the field. And we got a chance, before we got round 4 underway, to have a chat.
From a young age, it was always my goal to win a world title. I had the blessing to ride for a really good team here in Australia, the one I'm on now. So that was a really good foundation. You know, you throw yourself in the deep end going to Europe. It's a really tough environment to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together. My first year over there, I was also on Yamaha equipment like I was before I left. I went in expecting to win, and I had a 3-2 result on the first weekend of the year, and I wasn't quite stoked with that and knew I had to improve. So I went a bit mongrel with my training and fell into Epstein-Barr virus. It's a really rough start to my European career, and there was some times there where I thought I blew it before I had a chance to show what I was made of. But luckily, you know, a few things fell into place and I stayed hungry. You know, even when it wasn't my day, I was still just on it, and it led me to good opportunities, and finally got a world title. I grew up in a really good period here in Australia, and not for results, but you know, there were 6 guys who were super fast, and every day if you're fighting for 5th or you're fighting for 1st, it was a race, you know. So I think these younger riders, you know, they kind of look at Milner as a really accomplished rider, and he is, and for good reason, you know, he's very accomplished around the world. But now there's 2 of us doing it. It's not just an anomaly, you know, it's really possible to do. They got some 2 world-class guys to chase down, and that's only for the better for them, especially with age on their side. I think they can really turn it into something good if they want to export in the future. It's going to be a dogfight the rest of this year. We've had a really good start. We're here at day 2 in Rawson now. It's home country for Milner, and he's kicking my ass today. There's no other way to look at that. But you know, I'm going to stay really hungry. I know it's a long season and it's hard to stay healthy for a whole championship. So yeah, no, I don't need to do anything too much different than what I'm doing now. I'll stay hungry, stay fit, and yeah, keep swinging.
The 2025 series looks fantastic with the return of Will Ruprecht, and we thank him for taking the time to have a quick chat with us. And already here this weekend, he has just shown how fast he is and will be throughout the rest of the series. Well, yesterday was cross country. Today, this morning, we have sprint, a different beast of Australian Enduro Championship, and these riders have got a very rough track to tackle today.
There was no time to recover, no time for reflection. Sprint racing was in order for round 4 Sunday morning. The shorter tests meant that the riders had no time to relax. Living on the edge was required for the fastest times, but also put them at risk of finding the floor. Will Ruprecht led them out on the first test. 15-second intervals between the riders meant that the applied pressure on each rider was very real. Not satisfied with his cross-country result, Daniel Milner was here for redemption, and from the very first test showed he meant business, picking up a 10-second lead at its completion. In the E1, Jonty Reinders picked up right where he left off on his KTM. A clean sweep across all 7 tests in E1 solidifies his points standings on the top.
Yeah, today was a lot better. I started off the first test on the ground, which wasn't ideal, and yeah, I started to pick it up throughout the day. I had a couple of little moments today, but yeah, the last 3 tests were super solid. Yeah, was able to get up in that top 3 and yeah, finish off the day on a high. Ended up getting a test win and knocking the boss off the top, which was good, and was able to snag a second outright today and another first in class. So yeah, couldn't be more stoked with how today went. It's finally yeah, absolutely loving the bike, and yeah, I showed that I've still got the speed, and yeah, massive shout out to DM31 KTM racing team for all their support. Wouldn't be up here without their support, so thanks.
2 riders that would feature late in the day was Empire Motorsport Kawasaki off-road team rider William Price and KTM mounted Ryan Haywood, who would share the minors over the final 3 tests. Yamaha's Fraser Higlet was on fire, starting strong and staying consistent across the day, landing the 2nd step on the box, his first podium for the year. Cooper Shido's day started less than ideal, giving away a lot of time in the opening 3 tests before regrouping and turning it all around to finish 3rd on the day. The E2 was a rinse and repeat across the day. 5 riders, all scoring the exact same positions across all tests except for in the 4th, where Wilkes and Dennett would trade places. Andy Wilkes was flying early, on 2 occasions equaling the times of Ruprecht, but a small mistake midway through the day saw him drop a place in the 4th test and struggled to match his time set earlier in the day. He would finish 3rd. Will Ruprecht simply didn't have the answer today. He looked to be in a fight with his bike, a stark contrast to the smooth performance we saw from him the day before, and he would manage to hold on for 2nd in the class. Daniel Milner, though, appeared flawless. Even with a small tip over, he was never challenged in the E2, claiming a victory and tying up the points again as they leave round 4.
I think with, the first round being at Will's home territory and then this one being at my home territory, it was it was very disappointing with how yesterday went for me. So, lost a little bit of sleep over it last night and come out swinging today and all went well. So I think we had one little tip over for the day and the bike was unbelievable. To be honest, the Pirelli tyres were hooking up really good in the conditions that we have out here. It was very slip. And a lot of grass track and having to turn up real sharp on stuff to miss the bump. So the bike felt unbelievable. Massive thanks to the team and everyone that supports us to be able to get on this top step.
It was about who would break first in E3. 2 riders, 3 test wins apiece heading into the final test, separated by only 14 seconds at the close of the day. Riley McGilray once again has put in the work, gaining 3rd in every test on the day, 3rd overall. But it was down to 2 riders. They would swing the result back and forth up to the final test. Corey McMahon opened up the day with a test win before Jai Dixon grappled back the next 3. Then McMahon nabbed the next 2. When all was said and done, Corey McMahon would stand on the number 2 step, Jai Dixon picking up his first win of the year.
Yeah, today was pretty solid. Got off to a pretty decent start today and found the flow with the track. It was pretty rough and technical, so happy with my bike out there. Put down some solid test times and really happy with it.
Kogan Locke was determined to clean sweep this weekend in EJ. He started Sunday on track to do so, clinching 5 wins out of the 7 tests. His lead was never threatened and would pick up another win today.
Today was really good. Managed to get a nice lead after the first test, which was really good. Ended up getting the win by about 40 odd seconds, so I'm super stoked with that. Got 5 out of the 7 sprints. Last 2 just didn't really go my way, but other than that, really happy with how the day went. Track was really cool, really rough. I don't think I've ridden a track that rough before, but the 450 pulled me along nice, so it was really good. Big thanks to everyone that helps out. It was a really good day.
Will McInnes was quick all day and his consistency would pay off, landing a test win in the 6th, 2nd in EJ. Ryan Jordan's test times would only trend in one direction as his times improved each time he hit the course, grabbing a win in the final test which would help find his way to the podium, 3rd on the day. After a disappointing performance in cross country, Maddie Simpson had only one thing on her mind: win, 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 and that is what she did. Securing 6 of the 7 test wins, Simpson was never challenged, dominant today, winning by nearly 2 minutes.
Yeah, today was good. Rebounded from yesterday and won all but 1 test today, which was really good. Rode really well, only 1 stack as well. So yeah, overall it was a really good day. Bike was handling awesome and real happy.
The battle between Maddie Healy and Jessica Gardner went down to the wire. Each rider, at one point or another, had the upper hand. Gardner grabbing the win on the final test, which would be the deciding factor to the podium. Gardner ending up 2nd on the day in EW, Healy 3rd. Pro Enduro saw its first shake-up of the year and a welcome result in the final test. As stated previously, Daniel Milner was simply on fire, winning all but 1 test, beaten by his teammate on the smaller e-bike, Jonty Reinders, in the final test. And at the close of the day, only 16 seconds separated our top 5 riders after 1+ hours of test racing. McMahon and Ruprecht were at the tail end of the top 5. Jai Dixon's massive performance in the early stages secured a podium position in 3rd. Jonty Reinder's impressive final test moved him into 2nd in Pro Enduro, only half a second in front of Dixon. And Milner on home soil was simply too good, taking the win and earning himself a 4-point lead in the Pro Enduro classifications.
Another exceptional day of racing here at Rawson for rounds 3 and 4 of the Yamaha Australian Enduro Championships, of course presented by MXstore. It looked like it was going to go to Will Ruprecht, who was so strong across the cross country on Saturday. However, Milner was determined to claw it all back, winning today in the sprint races. So this battle is going to continue on for the entire series. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our interactions on our social pages and look out for the review video to come up soon. And of course, our next round is at Tintinara in South Australia, May 31st and June 1st. So make sure you check that one out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.